What is going on, Earth 2 novice, enthusiasts, and everyone in between? My name is Casey, coming at you live. Just wanted to jump on here very quickly with some updates, some ideas that I've got. Obviously, this Earth 2 thing seems to be taking off. I'm very happy. I'm very excited about it. I haven't been excited about something like this since probably cryptocurrency. When I first started investing in cryptocurrency, and it's very similar. You'll hear me mention the similarities between this and cryptocurrency because I just remember I was like the first one of all of my friends doing it. I was trying to explain it to people. Everyone's like, how's that going to have any value? It's not real and all this other stuff. And um, it's just like that when there's such a novel concept. But I definitely see the potential in this. Check out, if for those of you who like educating yourselves, check out a book called The Future is Faster Than We Think, or The Future is Faster Than You Think. Regardless, you'll find it. The Future is Faster Than You Think. Very interesting book. I went through it like 3 times just because there's so many mind-blowing concepts on there. And with those perspectives that you can get from that book, I think Earth 2 will make a lot more sense if you're hesitant as far as, you know, where it can possibly go and what they're going to be doing with it. But in any case, the purpose of this is not to sell you on getting that book, but I've got so many ideas for videos. I can't get them out fast enough. I am looking forward to do more live streaming stuff. Yesterday, some of you are probably aware that we were planning on doing a live show yesterday. Some of the stuff that I wanted to do on the show was I was actually going to do some walkthrough kind of stuff that needed Earth 2 to be active. And unfortunately, if you guys saw, the site was having some issues yesterday. There's just so many people on the site that they're having lagging issues. I see that as a good thing. That shows that there's demand. I've mentioned this before. It's frustrating to deal with it, especially when you're like, man, I want to hurry up and buy some stuff. But yeah, so we are going to try to go live. If the site wants to cooperate with us today, we are going to be going live today. Myself and my friend Dan. Dan is brand new to this. I think he's funded his account, but I don't think he's bought any land yet. So it'll be good to get his questions. I'm sure a lot of you guys have them. Hear my thoughts, because not any one video that I have kind of goes over everything. And we'll probably try to do it for like an hour or so, probably later this afternoon. I'm going to be running to the gym. I've got some ideas for some other videos that I want to shoot and hopefully get shot, edited, and posted before we go live. But in any case, I've got tons of ideas, so much stuff. Like every time I shoot one video, I have an idea for like 3 more. So it's good. It's just hard to keep up with, a bit overwhelming on top of everything else that I'm trying to do. So I always appreciate the support for using my referral code. I did want to mention my new strategy as well, or my new strategies. And I will go into some of my videos that I want to do. We'll go into more depth and detail, and I will do some screen sharing to show you exactly what I'm doing, where I'm buying, why I'm buying it, how I'm finding stuff. But based on the live stream that the owners, the developers, and the CEO did the other day, they were talking about resources. So I've shifted and I've gone much more heavily towards resources. And I've got like I said in the video, I'm going to tell you what resources I'm thinking about, how I'm finding them. But just so you guys are thinking, I think there's going to be the advantages. So here are the concepts, and here's why I'm thinking it. In the later phases, there's going to be advertising potential. So that's why it does behoove you to buy up popular areas, monuments, theme parks, all that stuff that is highly trafficked in the real world, in Earth 1. So if it's a busy area, Manhattan, Disney World, Yellowstone, whatever, the places that are, heavily trafficked, it's going to benefit you because, as I mentioned in another video, and I encourage you to check out that video because I do a good summary of all the bullet points from the live stream with the developer and the developers and the CEO. One of the things they were talking about, and check out that video for sure. Maybe we'll put a link into it after I get this posted. Oh, this is live. But they're talking about having an app that will allow you to, you're in Manhattan and you can go, oh, I'm in Times Square. I wonder what's here in Earth 2. And you look around through your phone with a VR, AR kind of geo-specific kind of deal. So the more people who are in an area that you own, like if you own Times Square, and there's, well, not really many people in Times Square right now, but when things get back to normal, if things get back to normal, you own a place where a lot of people go, there's more likelihood that those people are going to be looking at whatever you have in Earth 2. And if you are selling ads in your space on Earth 2, not only are you going to be able to charge more for those ads, or maybe it's going to be based on how many eyeballs you get on those ads, whatever. If you have a highly trafficked area, that's one of the primary reasons to buy places like that. Now, those places are obviously the first thing that everybody thinks of. That's why when I first got onto this, like, I managed to get some space on Manhattan, but it, like, all the good stuff was already bought up. I bought up like in a lot of the big cities, but I'm sure they're all bought up now, like London, Paris, Manhattan. I got in on all that, but that's what everybody thinks about first. So that's where everybody buys first. People aren't thinking about a cornfield in Iowa, you know? So the popular places are good to buy, but I think the way that they're designing this is to give even people who are entering the game late an incentive to still get in and still invest. So they also mentioned on that live stream resources. The resources are going to be part of phase 2, which is coming up. We don't know when, but when it's done, it will be launched. There is no specific date. Anybody telling you that there's a specific date to phase 2, they're full of it. Stop following them. Stop listening to them. They're just shills. And someone said a couple of people said it was going to be the first. I'm not paying attention to those people anymore because they're lying. Nobody said that. The CEO and the developers don't even know when it's going to be. So in any case, off my rant. Resources are going to be phase 2. That's where we're going to start getting stuff from the land that we own. We'll be able to get stuff from other people's land. We'll be able to buy, sell, and trade with resources. And why do we want resources? Well, I keep referring to the game Catan, and I suggest everybody plays Catan because it's an awesome game. It's a board game, a lot of fun, super addictive. The first game you play is going to be the longest game you play because you have to learn all the rules. But as soon as you play the first game, you're going to be like, oh, I wish I could play again. Let's play right now. But it's like a 3-hour game when you first start. So in any case, Catan is all resource-based. So you own little plots of land, and depending upon what type of land you buy, you get different types of resources from that land. You use those resources to build things. You build roads to more land, then you develop on that land, and you use the resources to build developments and then bigger developments. And they have versions where you use the resources to build ships and sail to other islands and all sorts of stuff like that. It's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like that. So we'll be using these resources. Now, they haven't disclosed exactly what type of resources. So it's kind of like a guess, but think about the obvious stuff. Like if they do any precious metals, it's going to be gold. Like my fiance is like, what do you think about like diamonds and rubies and sapphire mines and stuff like that? I haven't gotten into that stuff yet because I don't know when it comes down to, like, the primary reason that for the resources is going to be building stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, like gold is used as like a currency. It's also used in circuit boards. It's a great conductor. So that has a lot of uses. Diamonds, yeah, the utilitarian purposes on diamonds is really just like putting them on blades and drill tips. So I don't think diamonds, and especially rubies and sapphires, I don't think so, but don't quote me. I just haven't seen anything yet that makes me think, oh, let me find some diamond mines and ruby mines and stuff. Oil, obviously. They actually even mentioned oil in the, they didn't say necessarily that it would be valuable, but one of the developers in the video mentioned, like, you want to, he mentioned something about oil, and he basically said, don't bother buying the refinery because there's no oil under the refinery. But if you find the oil fields, that's where the resource is going to be. And he said he was saying that to basically say that the resources are going to be correlative to the area. They're not going to be completely random. So he's like, while you don't know what the terraforming or what the terrain is going to be, which is like phase 3, where we're actually going to be able to get in on it. He said that, like, if you buy something in the middle of the Amazon, we're not going to just, give you sand. Yeah, you'll get wood and, what you'd expect in a forest. So it is going to be correlative to what is on that geographic location. If you buy something in the middle of the ocean, you're probably not going to get wood because there's not too many trees growing in the middle of the ocean. But there are oil rigs in the middle of the ocean. So if oil is at play, if oil is part of this new world and this new economy, then that's obviously going to be a good investment. So I'll go into more of that and some other stuff that I'm buying that I haven't seen other people mention. I'm going to mention that in the video, but more specifically how I'm finding this stuff, because this stuff isn't always easy to find. It's not as easy to find as like the Statue of Liberty in Disney World. So I'm going to do some like over the shoulder kind of stuff where I share my screen and show you exactly how I do it. I was doing it last night, came up with some good strategies, like an 8-step process. That'll just help you go boom, 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 bang out stuff. So keep an eye out for that video. I'm going to shoot it later today, hopefully, as long as Earth 2, the website, is cooperating. And what else was I going to mention? Okay, yeah, as far as oil. So here, like at first I was like, they're not going to have oil. Why would they have, fossil fuels in this new Earth? Like that, it's not a necessity. And we could just like have a different type of energy. The CEO mentioned like flying around. He's been using the virtual reality to explore Earth 2 in their beta phases. And he says he uses it like as a stress reliever. And he mentioned flying around. So I'm like, are we going to have roads and vehicles, or are we going to be able to just teleport places? I don't know. I think they are going to make it necessary to have roads and some kind of shipping. It just makes the game more interesting when you have to ship resources from one place to another. Another concern I've had, just brain dumping for you. Another concern I had was me being spread out in all these different countries. Is that going to be beneficial? Is it going to work against me? Would it behoove me to just buy up land together and continue buying in one area? I don't know yet. So I'm just kind of like buying all over the place until I see a reason not to, and then I'll try to consolidate and focus. But I'm kind of buying all over the place. Getting back to oil, you can also use oil for plastics and a lot of other things. So even if it's not going to be used as a form of fuel, which it probably will be, maybe they'll have like upgrading technologies where you can, go from something rudimentary like, fossil fuel propulsion to, I don't know, batteries and solar. I don't know. They did mention there will be technologies like terraforming, where even if you buy some land that doesn't have a certain type of resource, I think there's going to be a way for you to like terraform, which if you don't know what that means, it basically means kind of edit the earth, or edit the terra, which is the I think it's Greek or Latin or something for earth. So you're editing the terrain, terrain. Terraforming is basically saying like, oh, this is a desert. I don't want it to be a desert. I want to make it woods. I want to make it a forest. I want to grow lumber here. And you have some kind of terraforming technology that allows you to do that. They mentioned that. They didn't say that specifically, but they said that there will be terraforming. And he did mention that it would give you the ability to get other resources. So I'm assuming that from the context he was discussing, I'm assuming that's what the situation is going to be. So even if you're just buying a bunch of desert, which I do have some desert, I bought up, if you look up, there's this interesting theory that the lost city of Atlantis actually wasn't sunken into the earth or into the ocean. They believe that it was part of a tectonic plate movement that lifted, the water drained out, and now it's like in the middle of the Sahara Desert. So I found that location, and you could probably find it, look it up, but I'm not going to go into it. I got another video where I show you where I bought it. So I do have some land in the middle of the desert. I was just buying it because it's the city of Atlantis, and I thought it was pretty cool to own the city of Atlantis. Maybe the other people who are buying, my neighbors, maybe we'll rebuild Atlantis there. I don't know. We'd have to terraform it and then bring the water back and all that stuff, but it could be fun. But in any case, if you bought some useless land, cornfields, or I don't know if there's going to be food. That's another thing I was speculating on. Like, are they going to make the characters eat? From what I understand, they can be hosting different games. So I guess it depends on what game you're playing. And I guess this will be kind of like an open source kind of deal eventually, where other games can be played on this platform. So it's not going to be exclusively one game or just their games. I think maybe there'll be like licensing rights where like EA Sports or Rockstar can use the Earth 2 platform to play games. It's very interesting. I'm very excited. It's way more fun to not know where this is all going to go, because it kind of lets your imaginations run. And another thing that I think is cool, and as a business, like I've owned several businesses, I've been involved in investing in different things, especially this, like I said, this is so similar to cryptocurrency. They mentioned that they are watching the forums and the different threads and the conversations that are out there, and they're using those ideas to the things that are being discussed to kind of influence them as far as what they release, and maybe tweaking it and adjusting it, maybe adding some other features. So I like that as a business owner, being in that beginning stage where you're still taking feedback, which you should always do throughout your business, but you're taking feedback and you're making adjustments, and you're not assuming you're the smartest guy in the room or on the planet in this case. And I think that a lot of the discussions that we have in the forums and publicly will probably translate into something that we're going to see in later phases. Now they've got phase 1 through 3 publicly out there. Any other phases, they did mention that there are internal phases that they just don't have publicly for a myriad of reasons. Confidentiality stuff, not wanting to let competitors know what's going on, but it also allows them to be a bit plastic and dynamic with this evolution of this platform. It allows them to change things. They don't, put out a public expectation and then say, actually, you know what we decided to do is do it this way. They did mention something to do with credits, which I thought was interesting. You can buy resources from each other with credits if we don't want to trade or barter. So credits makes me think cryptocurrency. So I'm expecting there to be a cryptocurrency aspect to this. I think that's what we'll eventually start getting paid in. Right now, we're getting income tax from the land that we're holding, as you guys know, if you are holding it. And that, I think, will eventually turn into cryptocurrency. They want to make this its own self-sustaining economy. Like, this is going to be beyond a game. This is going to be, I mentioned in another video where, like, imagine going back before the internet and trying to explain to somebody, like, okay, there's this thing, it's going to be on the computers, and they're all going to talk to each other, and people are going to be able to have businesses on the computer, and they won't have a real store, but they'll be able to be millionaires and billionaires from this business. You'd be like, from the computer, like the blue and white screen, like, I don't believe that. So remember how wrong those people were. And it wasn't because it was just something that was new to them. Like, imagine trying to explain algebra to a chimpanzee who basically just got sign language down. It's so abstract because our minds aren't used to comprehending it. But now everyone who's born after a certain era doesn't understand how the world existed without internet. I'm barely old enough to remember, the years before the internet and cell phone and all that other stuff. But the people who have been born after that have a completely different mindset and expectation as to what, our reality should have and what it should be. So imagine now, like, they mentioned they want to have multiple economies on there. So that means, like, not just the resources, there's going to be the advertisement and other stuff, but there's going to be ways for you to make money that are going to be very similar to the real world, just in this virtual world. And a lot of people are like, I can't understand that. Imagine how many people are already spending their time each day looking at a screen. I spend all day looking at a screen. That's just part of my job. More and more jobs are going to be, looking at a screen. And if you're an Amazon seller, an e-commerce seller, selling on Walmart or eBay or anything like that, that's second nature to you already. Imagine once this starts having those opportunities where you can start having businesses within Earth 2. And more people are going to just spend more and more time in VR or in AR or looking at a screen. And look at movies like Surrogate with Bruce Willis, where nobody really leaves their apartment anymore. Everyone's working through surrogates, these machines walking around this earth. Look at Ready Player One, where it's like this future dystopia where everybody is escaping their reality to be someone else in this other world. The next several decades of existence on this planet are going to be, we're going to see all sorts of, a lot of questions related to reality are going to come up, because we're hitting the edges, and we're approaching that singularity where eventually there will be a simulation or a game that is so realistic that it will be indistinguishable from reality, and people will question what's real. Watch the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix, where he has a little earpiece, a little assistant, like an Alexa device, and she develops a personality, and this algorithm kind of becomes perfect for his personality and charming and everything else. He falls in love with this device, as do many people in that movie across the world. They all fall in love with their device. Like, we're going to be questioning what love is when people start falling in love with algorithms that are designed to just charm them. So seems kind of scary. It's just inevitable. It's just the new thing, unless we, nuke ourselves or there's some EMP that brings us back to the Stone Age worldwide. It's inevitable. So this is one of the inevitabilities. Someone is bound to create a 1-to-1 scale Earth, and there's going to be more after it, but this will be the first one, and this will be so big and so massive that it will probably, it'll be like the Tesla of virtual reality. It'll be like the Amazon or the Apple of the virtual reality world. So go ahead and look at their stocks. Remember that when you're investing. I mean, this is like another opportunity to get in on something like Bitcoin or Amazon or Apple or any of those. This is ground floor. This is a couple months. We're a couple months into it. This is January 2nd. They're only a couple months into it. It's insane. So check out my update. I did an update video yesterday of 2 weeks. I put $200 in an account 2 weeks ago. Yesterday's at $1,400. I think today it's already at $1,600. That's crazy. Like, this is ground floor kind of accelerative growth that you only see in the beginning of stuff like this. So I'm going to hit the gym, come back, shoot some more videos. So stay tuned. Thank you for the 2 people catching me live. The live show that we're going to do later, we will be doing purchasing with referral codes from you guys. So fill out the form. And also, if you're able to catch it live, I'm going to try to make it fair where some people who fill out the form, I still want to give you the opportunity. So I'm going to pick a random referral code from the form and from the comments, and we're going to purchase some land live on the show. And then once a week, we're also going to be giving away land. So you'll get some money from referral code. There's going to be a daily opportunity from that. And then once a week, we're also going to be giving away a plot of land that we buy. And we appreciate the support, the subscriptions. I will try to simulcast on this channel, but I think we're going to be doing the live show on another channel that Dan and I are going to share. But we're going to try to simulcast because we have our own channels. I have another channel that you probably migrated from, Meal Prep Biz 101. And that is more geared towards that kind of information. I wanted to separate this. I'm excited to share this stuff with you guys. This is what I do. If you check out my other channel, all I do is I basically had a business. I figured out a really good way to grow the business. We're the most successful, the highest rated meal prep company in Florida. And I don't hide stuff. I like sharing it with stuff. I think knowledge becomes more valuable when you share it. If you hold on to knowledge and you just use it to benefit your own life, that's a really lonely and miserable life. I'm all about putting out there. I believe in Buddhist philosophy. I got a Buddhist tattoo right here. Love the Buddha. I love the idea of karma, making other people's lives better. And I have never felt better than when I've helped others. I think we have an internal compass that it gives us that positive feedback. That's why we feel good when we help people. One thing I discuss in another one of my videos on meal prep is I get into some philosophical stuff, but you ever notice, like, if you hurt somebody, if you get revenge on somebody, they don't feel good. You might feel good for a little bit, but normally you don't really feel good. So that creates negativity. It just breeds more negativity and you never win. Best case scenario, one person feels good and that's the person getting revenge or hurting the other person, but it doesn't benefit. Like, you got either one win and one negative or two negatives. If you help somebody, they feel good and you feel good. We have an internal compass that tells us that's what we're meant to be. And we're told this stuff, but until we experience it, until we have the opportunity to help people and get that feedback from them, or just put something positive out, even without feedback, and know that someone's going to use it. I'm not going to go on a rant about that. Guess the caffeine's kicking in. I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to let you go. Reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. This is a reminder. Reach out to them. Let them know that you miss them, you care about them, and you're happy that you have them in their life, and you hope to spend more time with them in 2021. Rock on. Make sure you're subscribed. Use my referral code if you're going to be doing any purchasing. I'd greatly appreciate that. Support the channel, support me, and I'll keep on pumping this stuff out, putting a lot of time into these videos. I like going live because I don't have to edit anything and I can get it out there faster. But screen shares and things like that, also just keeping it concise. I can obviously ramble. It's 25 minutes now. I'm going to stop rambling. So the edited stuff is definitely better for your enjoying pleasure, but you know, live streams just faster and sloppier.